Chat bands. Teemo, Jace, Jax, Urgot. Gonna go to the actual champ select pick and ban screen thing and see what actually gets picked here. Sorry for being a little quiet between games. I'm having some issues with XSplit. My frame rate in the last game was atrocious. I'm trying to fix it.
No problem. It happens. We are ready. Hopefully all the players are ready. Go right into the semifinal match here. Pretty excited. On the bottom portion of the bracket right now, it's going to be a game going on between +5 and double gold per 5. That should also be interesting to see who comes out on top. But we'll be following this match for the time being. Who are the next 6 bans going to be? Darius going out. Once again, fairly standard ban. As the tournament goes on, the bans become more repetitive just because there's so many quote-unquote permabans that people feel are necessary in Dominate Dominion, which is why we increased the ban to 10 total. And I think that's it's actually been really good. It was done after some discussion with some of the players, some of the admins, and they put it in, and there hasn't really been any concerns regarding that, so I think that was a really nice change. Wukong going out as a ban, Wukong getting a lot of attention today. Poppy being another ban, very strong champion, especially for certain summoners. They know how to use her. I mean, she can zone people out. She can stun really well with all those walls, similarly to Vayne, and also has a lot of hitting power, especially against zoned out single targets. Blitzcrank being banned out against PECS.
I haven't seen any Poppy attention at all, actually, now that I think about it, in quite some time. The only 2 Poppy players that immediately come to mind for me are Arcos and Ilalia, and we haven't seen either one of those in tournaments very much recently. So Poppy's been a little absent in representation. And there's that Kassadin ban, like usual. If he wasn't just so darn good, maybe we would be able to play him. Maybe if we were like, hey, you can play Kassadin, but you can't use his Q, then maybe we could let him back in. But for now, we have Kha'Zix as like Diet Kassadin. And they're going to go ahead and let the other team get Vayne. Seems like they really like Kha'Zix because Buddha Rice is a very good Vayne player. So to not ban Vayne and to just let it go to the other team, I think that they're going to use that information to their advantage. It's like, well, they're going to have a Vayne player. We're going to have a Kha'Zix, and Kha'Zix is going to jump out and Kersplat Vayne. Kersplat, a very scientific term for when you apply damage in excess of their hit points, causing the enemy to die.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kha'Zix would be really good. Has that leap, has the slow when you first attack, and then you can constantly slow with your ultimate, or 2 more times at least. Has lots of good bursts, especially execution burst. With that Q, if you evolve the claws, which I'm sure they will, and we'll see. On that note, though, is there a preferred 3 evolutions on Dominion? Like, I would assume Leap is definitely one of them, but which other 2 are preferred? Is it the Q and the ultimate? Is it the claws and the uh, camouflage, or whatever it's actually called in game, or is it the claws and the missiles, or the spikes rather?
I see claws and I see the leap all the time, but yeah, I think it's I think claws leap or leap claws. No, it's claws leap. I think it goes. I think. I don't remember. I don't play Kha'Zix. I haven't gotten a chance to play him at all.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
people
just
in
going off
chat
what
are
I've seen.
saying it's generally W, which is the spikes, is more preferred over the R, and that's how I feel on Summer's Rift too. That's the main form I do play, indeed. Um, and it just makes me wonder because the extra second stealth is nice. You get another proc on your passive, and you do take 40% less damage, but only while you're stealth. So that's only 3 total seconds of 40% less damage. And I think it's also for only AoEs. So it's like, if they have an AoE comp and you want to jump in, I guess it works. But yeah, I don't think it's as valuable as having 3 long range spikes go out doing decent AoE damage and also being able to slow people if that's how you initiate. So I would agree that W is a little bit more preferred. Some people saying R is still pretty good for fighting style though. But a lot of other picks have gone down during that discussion. Pantheon and Amumu going down. Love seeing Amumu in Dominion play. Just people are so good at him. Landing them bandage tosses, getting really clutch ultimates. Mostly because his ultimate is so huge. You can cut people across corners and such, and under towers. And we do see a response with Irelia and Lee Sin. Oh, Malphite was actually first picked coming out from amputees instead of Lee Sin. They left it open and then picked him back up at the end there. Malphite should be pretty good, along with Irelia and Lee Sin too, against Kha'Zix, being able to kind of keep him away from Vayne. They all have ways to gap close and slow or stun Kha'Zix as he tries to chase the kiting Vayne. So that's pretty good. We are looking at a Swain highlight. Blueberry's Swain.
Look, Chobra, I like Malphite, and I'm gonna let you finish, but Peso and Child Support runs a lot of AP.
It's true. It's true. And we are seeing that right now. We're seeing Swain, Mumu, and I mean, Kale has pretty good magic damage on top of course, just shred and whatnot. So, you know, very, very good hybrid damage. So, I don't know. I mean, it's still gonna be good against. I mean, for initiation and of course against kind of like zoning or peeling. Also not going to be too bothered by Pantheon, but like you said, if Swain gets on Malphite first or a Mumu, that's not going to be too fun. So it's really going to come down to team fighting. I mean, if Malphite can initiate and then maybe just stick to Kha'Zix, while the others kind of deal with the other bruiser tankies of Peso and Child Support, we will see how that happens. Kale, though, being picked up last by Peso and Child Support. I can't say I saw that coming. The attack speed debuff from Malphite is going to help against that, because Kale with attack speed is very scary. At the same time, Kale is going to do quite a bit of damage against Malphite anyway. Olaf being picked up last by amputees, which I also find a little bit interesting. I mean, I can't say I see exactly why, other than the fact that, of course, his ultimate is going to be really great against the snare from Swain, the double stun from a Mumu, and another stun from a Pantheon. I feel like his offensive capabilities are not necessarily catered. It's not bad by all means because he has true damage, and that's about all that matters.
Okay, I'm seeing some things. I'm also seeing some other things. Okay, just where I'm at. Malphite, great tank, but his slow isn't going to be his key thing because it's going to be good for Panzers. I don't know. I just don't see where that ground slam is going to be terribly effective. But he's still a solid tank overall anyway. So yeah, sure, he's known for ruining attack speed based characters or 80, auto attack champs. But he's still really good overall. So I don't think it's a bad pick by any means. He's solid. Seeing Lee Sin, which I don't know how I feel about Lee Sin. I do know Lee Sin's my favorite champ to watch in live games because the sound effects with like the big stereo systems at live events for Lee Sin are so good. But my speakers are not that, or my headphones are not that amazing. But I like Lee Sin because he can get in and out of fights, and Safeguard's actually like clutch helpful. It's a great thing to have on your team. Now the other three champions, though, I'm seeing true damage, true damage, true damage. That's what I'm seeing. And it's like, well, they're not going to care if you build tanky. They're just going to kill you anyway with lightning and true silver and Ionian witchcraft. What is that called? Hiten style.
Yes.
There we go. I remembered something without looking at it. I'm happy. So I think the true damage, if used correctly, is actually going to be really, really helpful to them. But the last time we saw a heavy true damage comp didn't really work out so well. So maybe these guys will have better fortune with it. I also see a distinct lack of ability power. I was going to say attack power, but I'm like, that's wrong. I see a significant lack of spell damage over there. So they can kind of go without certain other things, which means, are we going to see Odin's on Swain and Amumu still? I'm not sure. Now, they have a bunch of AP over there. I mean, what's her name? Kale, that's right, can do a pretty good amount of magic damage mixed in with her, swinging auto attack damage. And Kale gets really, really scary, much in the same way that Vayne can get really, really scary. But she doesn't have that sort of in-fight mobility as well as other champions like Ezreal, Vayne, Corki have, but can deal extraordinary amounts of damage in the same way that Vayne can. So I think they're kind of comparable in the way they build. Painkiller got a Moo.
Yeah,
The enemy team might be screwed. Might. I don't know. Painkiller is a great Amumu player. We once cast a game where he did not miss a bandage toss, and
I
he's
do
an
remember that.
excellent Amumu player. But at the same time, a lot of people know that he plays Amumu, so they're going into a game knowing that Painkiller is good at Amumu, but they also go into a game knowing that Amumu is mitigatable. And I think that Amumu, for all of the AP champions, is the one that suffers the most when you build MR against him because he's so AoE heavy. So if everyone's going to throw down like some Hex Drinkers and Merc Treads, that's going to mitigate a significant portion of the damage that Amumu was able to do because it's a dot tick for one from the Despair, and Tantrum's damage, unless he's building AP, Tantrum's damage is in its cooldown where if you get hit, you can just keep spamming it, spamming it, and spamming it. And if they're not attacking a Mumu to proc that, I don't think they're going to have a lot to fear from it. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about. I feel like they can deal with a Mumu if they are conscious of it. And Swain also has sort of dot-based damage. His damage is small amounts over time, both with Ravenous Flock and with that one spell. Torment? Torment's the dot, decrepifies the bird.
Yes.
Woo! I'm learning, guys. Man, you and Forecourt got my back on this learning abilities thing. Thank you so much. You're so helpful. And yeah, I think that with a little bit of appropriately placed magic resistance, it's going to give amputees a solid shot at making this a real good game.
I mean, yeah, I think it's definitely there. But because they have no magic damage, like you said, or not much, it's going to leave a lot more options, and they're not going to have to worry about building. Like they can actually just build more health to mitigate the true damage. Which of course is a lot of them is or actually Vayne's is percent based, but Irelia and Olaf it's flat. So building more health will be helpful. And then Kale, of course, with that ultimate, what is it called? Intervention? Yes, intervention. Just checked it in game. That's actually going to be really good, depending on who wants to jump in. Especially if Amumu jumps in and they start targeting him, like you said, he's going to get the cooldown on his E, and then Kale can ult him, so he's actually not taking damage while he gets free cooldowns. Lots of possibilities there. Of course, could also just put it on Kha'Zix while he runs around and zones people out. And that's the thing with Kha'Zix. Like you want to kite him, but at the same time, you don't want to get zoned away by him because if you're isolated, you're suddenly just going to take tons more damage, especially once he evolves his Q. So a little bit of a conflict of interest right there. But we have started the game. We're seeing starting items go down. Prospector rings on both the APs here on PECS, some Prospector Blades, and then we're also seeing the Berserker Greaves once again on Vayne. We do have a pause. I'm assuming it's because Convertarius is not connected because he is not bought any items, but neither has Brown Bruiser, so maybe both of them are having a little bit of a connection issue right there.
That is a possibility, and that's why we play in tournament draft, is so that we do have that pause functionality. We're seeing Vayne open with the attack speed opening again, and my frame rate still hates me.
We do see Malphite starting with that Null Magic Mantle to go up against that AP damage. He has that Doran Shield for the health and armor once again. And there's not much else to talk about, it's just Prospector items, so nothing interesting going on in the starting builds. Take a look at the chat here, see what the issue actually is. Confitarius having connection issues. Deadly Storms OP. So
It's true. Deadly Storms are deadly for a reason.
They are pretty strong. They are fairly strong.
Oh my god, pause screen! I didn't intro the game. This is the round of 4 game. Yeah, it's round of 4 game, DominateDominion.com, League of Legends Dominion Tournament number 27. We're almost at 30 of these. What do? This is Pays Evelyn Child Support versus Amputees. Pays Evelyn Child Support being made up of Painkiller on Amumu, Captain Blueberry as Swain, Panzers having picked Pantheon Confederaris playing as Kha'Zix, and Buddha Rice using Kale. On one half of your casters, I'm Gander, and casting with me is...
Chober here, and let's introduce the purple team on this side. It's going to be amputees with Brown Bruiser on Lee Sin, Hammerhand on Aurelia, Rub My Nips on Vayne, No God Triscience on Malphite, Metal Fenrir on Olaf. And game's just about to start. Kha'Zix has entered the game with the Prospector Blades. We see Lee Sin picked up the parts for a Phage, going straight for that health, attack, damage, slow item. Phage is so good, and it just brings a lot to the table for how much it costs. It is getting hit a little bit, especially for ranged champions in that next patch coming up, which I think is it's pretty fair. It's mostly armed, of course, against Corki and Ezreal, and Lee Sin trying to get the first hit onto Swain. Not going to happen. Swain actually gets the snare onto Malphite, but he had his shield, Granite Shield, but there is the follow-through from Swain, trying to bring him down a little bit. Lee Sin puts the safeguard on him, though, so fair deal. Everyone is still pretty much at full health. Everyone level 4, it's a 4v4 now. Run My Nips does take a little bit of damage. There's a safeguard once again. Brown Bruiser very on top of that protection, and still no one looking that aggressive. We see Swain just trying to put out some poke, but that's costing him a lot of mana. If they go into a fight soon, Blueberry is actually not going to have much mana too. He is waiting now, smartly so. He wants to get some regen before they go commit to a fight. Kha'Zix now looking for an isolation. He's poking across the wall with his spikes. And we see Nogat Triscience trying to zone out the enemy team. And there is Painkiller now jumping in with a bandage toss. Blueberry does have some management up. He does get the Decurify and the snare onto Hammer. Hammer taking tons of damage. Will he be the first kill? No, Run My Nest actually gets the first kill onto Amumu. Meanwhile, we see Brown Bruiser getting a kill and now trying to zone out Blueberry as Nips tries to get more damage onto Commentaries. Double kill going down for Brown Bruiser. Blueberry still trying to get the kill onto Nips, but Nips is going to finish off the kill. Decrepify, no, not going to get the kill, especially with that safeguard. Can Bruiser and Nips get the capture though? We do see Aurelia coming up, but Painkiller is back to stop that capture. Painkiller actually just jumps right in onto Hammerhand, knows that Nips and Brown Bruiser needs to watch out a little bit, but Nips actually says, forget the fight, I'm going to go for the tower. Hammerhand taking too much damage though. Painkiller needs to be pushed away by that condemn, but still taking, or still putting out a lot of damage with those tears. Commentaries now trying to chase down Rub My Nips. He's isolated, so if he can get a Q, Rub My Nips is done, but Nogat Triscience does get some good peel down, allowing amputees to run. No, never mind. Captain Blueberry shows up to finish off that kill, gets a double kill, and Nogat Triscience now forced to run away as we see PECS finally getting the windmill.
Captain Blueberry was an excellent lead on that never move in order to be able to tag Vayne and get her with it. Really good prediction of just how much you need to have that placed down in advance. But down here at the bottom, Buddha Rice in between Metal Fenrir and Rub My Nips getting condemned into a wall down there. Metal Fenrir is going to go down in the exchange, but so is Kale, unfortunately. So a gank that went kind of both ways down there in that bottom lane. It's going to leave Vayne absent from any action up top. Looks like Pantheon is turning around to go down and deal with her as Amputees tries to secure the Storm Relic in the middle of the map. Hammerhead begins to channel out. Painkiller goes in with the bandage toss right in the middle, and now is taking a ton of damage for his troubles. Has to throw down the ultimate in order to try and create a gap, but gets slowed very quickly thereafter. And we see a couple of tantrums coming out, but really not too much. Got a little bit too far out away from the team there and could not escape, unfortunately.
Yeah, meanwhile, Panzers chased away Rub on that Vayne. With that Storm Shield was looking really scary, but Rub actually played that very, very smartly. Waited until the animation for the stun on the Aegis from Pantheon start, and then used Condemn to push him away so that the stun wouldn't last, and Vayne would be able to jump away. Meanwhile, Blueberry now caught 3v1, is using his ultimate, but he's going to run out of mana too. There it is, mana is out. He's not going to be able to sustain any longer. No more damage coming out. Vayne picks up the kill. Meanwhile, Nogat Triscience was zoned out, isolated, takes a lot of burst damage from commentary as Panzers tries to push away. Vayne does block one hit, but there's still the true damage coming in afterwards. Hammerhand now zoning out Panzers along with Brown Bruiser. That's going to leave another 3v1 up top. Hammerhand jumps in, but it's actually going to be Vayne. No, it's going to be Hammerhand taking damage first, but there goes the channel down to the tower. There's the Garrison, though. That allows for a quick kill by Panzers onto Hammerhand. Brown Bruiser now getting chased away. Painkiller is... No, there is the Sonic Wave Resonating Strike, but there's a medium block. But there's the Safeguard. Can Painkiller catch up with the bandage toss? Not going to hit. Brown Bruiser gets away at the very last second with that Safeguard.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier on when Lee Sin was actually first highlighted is that between the Sonic Wave and the Safeguard and just being able to kind of manipulate where he goes with and get in and out of fights that way. And the safeguard super helpful in Dominion because there's so many narrow engagements like the one that we just had up at the top, and he was really able to escape largely because of that. If there was not a target, then he might not have been able to escape that. Now, Rubber Nip's trying to go for that Storm Rock. Looks like going to be uncontested. There's no one in a position to try and stop that. But Peso and Shotspore is kind of all over map. They have really good map position right now. Rubber Nip sticks his head out, but PECS does not bite on, unfortunately. No, got Tri-Signs coming around from behind, looking for a good spot to ult in, maybe. Not finding one. Thought he was going to bite on it when they were all three clumped up, but it looks like no. They're going to opt for killing Panzers instead and making quick work of Confederates. And Painkiller coming in to try and delay them a little bit, but they just have so much damage, and they're able to get a kill off on him. They're going to split up. They're going to go two different directions here. Some are going to stay there. Vayne's going to go up to the top, and Captain Blueberry's saying, well, I'm a little bit too far away from that fight. I'm just going to take their drill. And it looks like he's got some minions. He's going to be able to secure that point. So a little bit of a changing of the guard right here in this game. AMPuT is going to take 3 points, and Peso and Shotsport's going to take 2, and almost a half points there. See if Kale can get this neutral. Minions, so good. Gonna give Buddha Rice a way to engage this bottom point now, being able to pick that fight with Metal Fender, but no god Tri-Science comes down. Kale using that invincibility, gonna buy her a little bit of extra time, but she's not quite as fast as Malphite is, and Olaf coming around, and his axe is hungry. He's got lightning. Kale has a kill on Malphite in that exchange.
Man, Dustman wants just so much sustain coming out from that KO, and meanwhile Hammerhand gets killed by the tower. Confiteras coming in. Robot Nips needs to watch out. There's the slow, and Robot Nips not going to have an escape. Gets shut down by Confiteras. Confiteras on that Kazakh's great chaser, great assassin. Meanwhile, top round bruiser, can he defend against these two? No, but he should be able to get the delay. He does interrupt both of them, but he's taking so much damage. The tower is trying to beat down Painkiller, but there's the channel. Brown Bruiser still trying to delay, and then gets out with the safeguard. Can he actually get away? Nope. Confiteras says hello, free kill, picks it up with his claws. Meanwhile, bottom, Metal Fenrir is now channeling. Can he get the neutralize this time around? Can he turn it around? He does get the neutralize, but Buddha Rice has returned. Buddha Rice is going to be able to clear the waves a lot faster than Metal Fenrir can. Metal Fenrir jumps in with his ultimate, though there is no tower, so he has the offensive advantage, and he wasn't taking too much damage to exhaust, but Captain Blueberry shows up for the assist. Buddha Rice barely surviving, used that intervention just in case at the last second to come out on top in that fight. PECS is just very, very mobile right now. They have a lot of cutoffs, they have a lot of ganks, and yet they're still able to put out some good map pressure. Meanwhile, top portion, once again, we see Hammerhand going down on the Windmill. Panzers going for the interrupt. No, they're actually going to turn around and try to fight. No got Tri-Science using his ultimate to peel for Rub My Nips. Oh, the curse of the Sad Money misses, and that allows Vayne to go right back in. As we see, Brown Bruiser blocks the bandage toss, but there's Blueberry with a decrepit fight and the snare. Rub My Nips taking so much damage, using Condemn to push Swain away. Meanwhile, Hammerhand not able to get the kill because of the exhaust. Now Brown Bruiser completely isolated, and Sanders between three people tries to get away with that safeguard, but knows he is done for and decides to turn around, delay the chase a little bit so that Vayne has an escape, and that's going to allow Confiteras to capture the drill. If Malphite doesn't get there soon enough, I don't think he will be quick enough. Painkiller actually catches Run My Nose with that bandage toss. He just needs a couple more seconds on that tier. Can he get the kill? No, he jumps in with the bandage toss, but he's taking lots of laser damage. Needs to run away as Brown Bruiser comes down and lands the Sonic Wave. That's going to be a kill for Lee Sin, as we see Booberry and Confiteras running away on the minimap. We're going to make sure that that's a confirmed kill. Olaf's actually going to come in and pick it up with that interception, and Buddha Rice now works away from the Boneyard.
Now being chased back away from that point, he's got to deal with Olaf and Lee Sin down there, and there's been a lot of active ganks in that bottom half of the map. Up at the top end of the map, however, Hammerhand trying to lay on this point, but Swain and Pantheon just doing a lot of damage up there, the upper half of the map, and now No God Tri-Signs trying to retreat. Rubber Nips is just hanging out behind the house, turns around the corner and is like, nope, tumbles right away from that, sees that Pantheon is right there, practically in Vayne's face. Didn't want to have anything to do with that. The bottom lane, however, another multi-person play for the bottom. Confederates going up for Brown Bruiser, and with a bandage toss, able to secure that. And Olaf and getting taken down in the bottom, and Kale leaving that fight, heading straight immediately over for the Boneyard afterward. And with Confederates, they only have to deal with Hammerhand, and they might be able to pick that fight there, especially with some minions on the team. Hammerhand has popped the ultimate, has landed a couple of good hits, but an exhaust followed up on that. Confederates damage being decreased by that, but it's still enough fortunately, to be able to turn the tower around. But now Metal Fenrir and Brown Bruiser here in Confederation knows that he has to back away from that because that's just one combo away from getting destroyed. He's able to dodge the Sonic Wave, though, decides to pick that fight with Brown Bruiser, leaps out of the way. It feels like he's getting a little bit too close there. Metal Fenrir and Buddha Rice duking it out, but Metal Fenrir getting the worst end of that exchange and is taken down. And now can Buddha Rice help out his teammate? No, unfortunately, he is going to pick up the revenge kill right there and be able to secure the bottom point.
Man, Converteris delayed that duel for so long that we did see Buddha Rice being able to pick up the double kill. Buddha Rice now just going to port back, got the capture. Actually going to turn around and delay this a little bit, sees that Run My Nips is very squishy. Look at that damage. Just one oh, and there's the Painkiller catch with the bandage toss. Earlier we did see on my screen that Painkiller did chase down that Vayne and turns right around with that bandage toss again, putting out a lot of damage on the Metal Fenrir. Buddha Rice not sure what to do. There's a Garrison onto the tower though, so much damage onto both Metal Fenrir and Brown Bruiser. Can Painkiller land one more bandage toss? No, he's just going to make sure he walks into the brush. There's a guaranteed bandage toss and he's going to get the kill. And they turn back around to Brown Bruiser, dodging the Sonic Wave by Buddha Rice, and then there's the intervention. Now Pans is coming in to make sure that Lee Sin has no escape. PECS is just all over this game right now. They almost have the drill captured. It's a 4-0 cap right now. A 3v2 up at the drill. Blueberry getting sacrificed by commentaries though. But Panzers has now shown up. Can they delay this capture and neutralize, or are they just going to give it up? Will they take the risk? They're so far ahead. They are going to catch. Noga tries on alone first, and then commentaries sweeps right onto Run My Nips. Gets interrupted by the bandage toss. Great play by PECS. Waiting for that setup. Noga Trisigns also going to go down. Double kill for commentaries. But now it's a 1v3. Can he get out? No, exhaust is too strong. Trying to get out using his ultimate, but he doesn't have another proc. He's trying to delay as long as possible. And Blueberry comes in with the snare, not going to hit. We see No God Trisigns coming up with that revive to turn that fight around, but it's still a 4-0 cap. Hammerhand finally getting one tower for amputees. 4-1. Meanwhile, Buddha Rice alone here at bottom, but Metal Fender is just going to melt immediately. That forces Brown Bruisers to turn around and use Safeguard, but there's an intervention and there's a tower damage onto Brown Bruiser. Not looking too good for amputees. Double kill under the tower, barely taking any damage for Buddha Rice. Hammerhand has now shown up with Run My Nips and Brown Bruiser. Brown Bruiser misses the Sonic Wave, actually hits a minion, but there's Commentaries going to instantly kill that Vayne, who just gets bursted down. No sign of her health bar anywhere. Commentaries still alone though. Vayne returns for the revenge kill with that revive, and it's going to go to Irelia, but that left the drill open. Still a 4 cap by PECS. It's going to be game. Excellent, excellent play.
A momentary 5 cap too before that last point got to go neutral. Pays everyone child support. Game started off kind of ordinary, but PECS was able to get a hold of it and really start rolling things pretty hard as Confedarius was able to get a few more levels, get a few more points in his abilities, and just start killing people. They're really able to single out Vayne very, very well, and Buddha Rice did an excellent job in the bottom lane. PECS able to take the victory and move on to the finals.